T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello beautiful people, welcome to Altcoin Daily with Bitcoin Gorilla. Today I'll be here talking to you about the token known as Lina. Now Lina or Linear or how you call it, I will break down some fundamental analysis, after which we're going to look at the price using simple price action, and then as well the statistics of the market. If you don't know, the current price of LinaToken or Lina Finance is currently trading at 0.02271 cents, of which today has been a big downside, and the market has seen, the entire crypto community or the entire crypto market has seen a downside, and Lina is no exception, as it went as low as lost like 14% to the downside. So what is Lina? Now Lina is a first cross-chain compatible delta. If you don't know what that means, it means that Lina is actually a decentralized delta 1 asset protocol capable of what? Of connecting multiple chains, right? Instantly creating systematic assets with unlimited liquidity. The project opens traditional assets like commodity, forex, market indices, and other systematic factors to cryptocurrency users. So this is the website, and also you can stake while you build on it, and as well so a decentralized application for staking and building LUSDT. So they have their own stable coin. So the exchange has a diversified, whereby you can now access the forex exchange, like I said, easier. So that's a little overview of what they offer. So now in terms of market statistics, if you don't know, the current circulating supply is around 3.36 billion tokens. Now if you don't know what circulating supply is, the amount of coin that are currently in circulation in the market. The maximum supply is around 10 billion token, of which, if you don't know what it is, the maximum supply is the total amount of coin that can ever exist on any cryptocurrency. Why the total supply is also 10 billion token, and if you don't know what that is, it is the amount of coins that has already been created minus any coin that has been born. So this is the basic statistics of Lina, but right now we're going to go into price and try to use simple price action to break down these coins. So I'm going to be giving you a multi-time frame analysis. If you don't know, I do not use indicators. I'm going to use simple price action. So I am going to try to bring in the horizontal trend line. So what I'm going to do is try to get the most reactive point where price got to, and price suddenly show a strong transformation, like a reversal, a change, just a change in the entire movement of what was happening before now. So this is the most obvious in your face areas that price struggle to either overcome or go below it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy. Now if you don't know, I developed the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy myself, and if you want to learn more about it, I'm going to use it in this video to actually make sense of what is happening on Lina, because the coin for quite some time has been stuck in some sort of sideways. So the question is, are we dumping further down? Because since the listing on TradingView on Binance, because this is Binance chart, Binance Lina USDT, you can see the coin started dumping from 0.2 all the way to 0.022 range, and that is where we still are. So this analysis, like I said, is going to be multiple time frames. So let me finish drawing the chart. So the box deals with support and resistance. It's strictly pure price action. So this is the weekly box for me. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and finish the inside of the box, because I can see other reactions that are quite in my face kind of. But I think I need to adjust the first drawing, because I'm seeing some certain reaction which are very, very important. I will explain further when I start analyzing the chart and explaining what I'm seeing based on what this box is telling me. The box strategy is quite very easy and simple to understand. If you want to learn more about it, please you can visit the link to understand more about this box. So I'm going to quite use colors that are going to help us differentiate the boxes and the resistance and support areas. So this is the box. So what we have here is two boxes. So literally this particular inside box is going to represent the intraday major resistance and support area, right? So more like the inside box. Meanwhile, the outside represent the weekly and the monthly box. So when I'm analyzing, I don't need to draw much of this box again on the lower time frame. I've already drawn. Now the inside box, this is the support area and this is the resistance. While the outside box, this is the support area and this is the resistance. Now the good thing about this, my strategy is I tend to treat support and resistance as an area instead of just a line, right? So beautiful. So this particular line you see here is going to serve as our control line. What is control line? That major point where price really struggled a lot the second time we tried. Not just the second time, but I'm going to explain further. There's been a lot of reaction on that control line. So very important range is this line. So I'm going to go ahead next and I'm going to take away all this drawing because I'm done with drawing. Though I will still, when we start doing with the intraday, I am going to try to use trend lines like to get the buyers and sellers line to combine it with what the box is telling us as a way of confirmation. So I'm going to go ahead and take us all the way to the monthly chart. We're going to start the analysis from the monthly chart, then we're going to move to weekly and then intraday. So I'm going to turn off the whole entire drawing that I just did. I'm going to delete everything and we're going to try to understand the candlesticks first before we dive into trying to make sense of any drawing or anything. The candlesticks is the basics of every price action, is the basics of indicators, is the basis of anything in terms of trading. Is the candlesticks that makes you understand the kind of volume that has entered the market. So we're going to start with the higher time frame. You're going to ask me, why am I starting with the higher time frame? I'm starting with the higher time frame because the big capital lies on the higher time frame, right? So the buyers, the main whales, those who really enter this market with strong capital are on the weekly and the monthly chart. The monthly chart is very important because they tend to make investments that will last more than 6 months. So these people, they are buying this coin, they are not buying to just buy and sell the next day. They are buying or buy to sell the next week. They are buying to hold for like minimum of 6 months, 1 year and above, which is good because it means the money is going to stay in the market for quite some time, and which means they will be protective of their position since they are investing for a long time. This is where they call them whales. When you talk about whales, they are functioning mostly on the higher time frame. They want to make the bigger forecast. How long is this ride going to be? When we start dumping, how long can we dump? How on a yearly outlook, right? So the first thing that drew my attention on the weekly chart, on the monthly chart, sorry, is these 3 candles. Now this is very interesting because some will call this particular 3 candle 3 black cross, but I don't want to call it 3 black cross because for me, I believe when I'm seeing 3 black cross, they should be full body red grown candles. So the candle should probably be bigger than the wick. So the wick should be, even if there's a wick, it should be minimal, right? And not just that, the wick, the minimal wick, I like sometimes even not seeing a wick at all. That will even make it stronger. But if you look at the candles, there's a thread with the first two candles. Like this second one entirely, there's a big wick on the top and big wick at the bottom, right? And this one also had the same thing, but though this one has more body grown than this one. So there's a sell-off that started the market, but the sell-off looks like 3 black call, but I am going to stay positive that it is not, right? Because for me, I'm going to call it 65% chances of failure that the 3 black cloth could fail. If enough accumulation goes on, we could have a move returning back up. But that's just for the 3 black calls. Then further down, we have this 2-bar reversal, which is a bullish reversal. But unfortunately, if this was a bullish reversal, how come, if I zoom in, how come these bears still managed to push them below the support? A good question. One thing you must know about support and resistance is they are constantly breaking. If support don't break, how do sellers get money? Because it means that if more sellers come into the market, they need to find buyers, and if there's no enough buyers, price has to go lower to seek for more buyers. And when they find these buyers, price tend to react by these buyers' orders filling up the sell supply, right? And if the orders from the buyers is strong enough, it will overcome the sellers. But unfortunately, the sellers grew as they got to this point, right? Barely going above the last red candle, right? Just the middle of it. They got exhausted, and you can see the pressure of the sellers grew. That is why we have this long wick. This long wick, this shooting star is a sign of a strong sell-off on these buyers, and the equilibrium was shifting, because for them to win it, that's why they are on a sideways. This sideways represents equilibrium between the buyers and the sellers. So this equilibrium is the buyers trying to counter the sellers so that price can move higher. But unfortunately, their capital wasn't enough to counter the sellers. So price tend to went deeper to look for buyers. That's why it broke the support. But here's the thing. The monthly buyers, like I told you, these are people that go in for long term, and for this reason, they can easily buy more. So for them, when they are forecasting, if you're focusing with the monthly chart, you find out that your focus will be minimum of 1 month, of 6 months, anywhere from 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You want to see what is, if I constantly keep getting a bull market, can I get a bull market to run this far? A minimum of 6 months. Can I get a 6 months bull market, right? On the monthly chart, if you have a strong sideways market, you are likely going to get that move likely coming. For the next 6 months, you're going to be up, up, up. So there's no need of exiting the market that is in green. So you just sit and ride the trend. But in such situation, again, that's what happened to these sellers here. So the sell-off continued, but they came in and they bring in what I call the initiative buying, in the sense that they are trying to protect the position, because obviously this is yet another bullish reversal. Now this is a 2-bar bullish reversal, more like bullish engulfing, because it completely engulfed the body. Me, I'm very concerned about the body, not the wick. So the green body completely engulfed it, but is it strong enough? Is it strong enough to keep this sell-off? Because obviously this is a 3-bar reversal, if you know, and a confirmation. So this is a 3-bar sell-off reversal, seller reversal, and this is a confirmation candle telling you that, hey, we just confirmed this sell-off. But then again, printing this, can they hold up? Because the sell-off could be over, or it could be not. Why do I say the sell-off could be over? The sell-off could be over because literally we having this 2-bar reversal on a support. Is a support because of the previous time they reversed at that same area. So 2-bar reversal on a support, but now we need like the weekly chart. the daily chart to give us a higher low. A higher low means a bullish market structure, which means we want to start seeing bull market structure on a lower time frame like the daily chart compared to the monthly chart. This will give us a good reason that even though this new month, because I call it the new month because it's just 6 days down, could change from red to green if they don't cross below 0.016. So if they don't succeed in going below it, chances are high something could still change, because somehow we might be having a new high and a new low on the lower time frame. So that's a brief overview of the monthly chart. There is a struggle between buyers and sellers on the monthly chart. So right now where they are, we are seeing yet another equilibrium. So something like this, sideways market, and it will be clearer by the time we start dealing with the weekly and the monthly chart. So this will take me bringing back my chart, my drawing. So I want to bring back my drawing because I want us now to look at the weekly chart. So this is the weekly chart, and this is the drawing that I made before I started explaining the candle. So our goal now is that this weekly chart will somehow tell us a story that we match something with the initiative buying we just saw on the monthly chart. So a sign of a bullish should start showing up from the weekly chart downward, so that the monthly chart can pick up and we can have a confirmation that yes, we're going up. Now the first thing I'm noticing in my own way is the fact that they are, yes, on a support, very important previous support. That is where they are. So they are in the support range. Remember when I was explaining the monthly, I explained it without any drawing. So now that I'm explaining the weekly, I am going to use a drawing. So we're going to use the box strategy to analyze it. And the box strategy says that anything that starts at the bottom heads to the top, right? But it is not going to be a freeway ticket. It is not going to be an easy job. Why is that? Why is it not going to be an easy job? Well, I'm going to make it easier. Sorry, I need to bring back, it looks like somehow I'm missing my drawing, my last aspect of the drawing right there. Right there, alright. So what I'm saying is this: it's not going to be an easy ride because of the turbulence they experienced when they were going down. Even when they try to go back up, there is still rejection and turbulence. Now, like I said, support and resistance break, but one secret about support and resistance breaking is the fact that when they break and they are returning, the support instantly becomes a resistance and the resistance becomes a support. And that is what happened here. That is why they got rejected in this area and they couldn't go back up, because in the past it served them as a support. When they were falling, they fell on it and they had a bounce before they continue and then broke below it. But here's the thing: when they return, it start acting as a resistance. With that at the back of our mind, it means that when the sell-off started at the top of the box, obviously we're heading to the bottom of the box. But here is the thing again about the bottom of the box, is that now before we're going down, we crossed so many bridges, and each broken bridge is like a broken trust. So I was expecting you to catch me when I was falling, but you failed to catch me when I was falling. So when now I am coming back up, do you think it's going to be easy for us to just shine it like it never happened, right? So that is how these bulls react with these reaction areas. These reaction areas were meant to stop the bulls from falling, to stop the price from falling, to stop the sellers from going further. But each time they try, these buyers come into the market and buy, they got betrayed and they get chased out of the market, right? And that's why the support get broken and they have to seek for the next support. Each time they reacted again, they come in, they buy, but the market didn't go too far again. They got betrayed again and they broke the support, leading them even lower. So the point is, they have arrived at a particular support that seems so far so good. The last time this support was able to hold them, but now they have returned to it, and so far so good, it is still holding them. But the question now remains, How far can it hold them? Is it going to betray them again? Because you can see now that even though that support, which is this range now, which is now the weekly support, which is also very close to the monthly support, which I did analyze using the simple candlestick, will it betray them or will it cause a complete reversal? Now, when I drew this, of course, like I said I said my box strategy said when you starting at the bottom, now we're heading to the top. That's how the boost moves, right? So my target is easy, but remember, starting at the bottom heading to the top will require you some patience when trading on spot, and especially if you're trading it on futures. Please, I have laws of how to survive situations like this, what to do. Please, if you want to know more, you want to visit the link of Makaveli Traders and join me. But currently I am not taking students, so my classes are only open from May 3rd. I will start registration for the next batch too. Now, it's a lifetime access, one-time payment for a lifetime access, and you trade with me for life. I get to teach you about this Bitcoin Gorilla Box. I developed it myself. This strategy is easy, you will understand, and I will trade it daily with you, sharing my trade with you. I don't give in signals, so this is not a signal channel, it's an educational channel where you get to actually trade live with your instructor and the person guiding you, which is me, for the rest of my life until I leave this planet. So it's a one-time payment for a lifetime access, but currently my last students, we are in their last this month is the last training. It's going to be 6 weeks. Now, the last time it was 3 months, is now it's going to be 6 weeks training, intensive training, after which you're going to be able to trade with me live. I'm a high leverage trader. I trade 125x. Yes, I trade 125x, and please don't try it at home. Don't try it yourself. It's risky. I have rules that I use to trade it, and thanks to this box strategy, I ride it successfully. So back to this chart. If you look here, the support held them and they had a bounce. So we're going to go ahead and see what the bounce looks like on daily, intradays, and see like 4 hours daily chart, and let's see what they are saying. They have to support this support. They have to tell us that this support can be trusted and won't fail us like others failed us. So a good thing to take note of is the sell-off of the past, seller's line. So I'm going to bring the seller's line. Now the seller's line need a minimum of 2 touches. Remember, I said this is pure price action, so I'm going to be using more of trend lines, right, to confirm some certain thing. But the reason why, even though I use trend line, I trust my box because it helps me. Trend line treats the support and resistance as a line. My box treats it as an area. So even though the trend line is broken, it's still telling me it's within a support, and whenever price is within a support or resistance, the box always say get ready for a sideways movement. I know in my channel I talk a lot about sideways movement, and a lot of people don't like to hear it. They just want to say that coin is a shit coin because it's not moving. Well, what you don't understand is that price actually have a life cycle. We have accumulation, we have markup or uptrend, we have bull market, then we have distribution, and then we have bear market, or you can call it markdown, or all of that. This is price life cycle. For these things to happen, for price to move, they have to be an agreement. They have to be an exchange of coin. So coins has to change hand between the buyers and the sellers. Without the buyers, there won't be sellers. Without the sellers, there won't be buyers. And for this reason, this situation take place because sellers need to overcome buyers for a price to go lower, and buyers capital need to overcome sellers for price to move high. So at some certain point, these two will struggle to overcome each other. So now, with this being understood, you must understand that the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy deals with that 80% weighting. So that period, it helps you explain what happens after accumulation or what happens after distribution. What can you see next? So obviously we are seeing a clear distribution. I talked about this because I'm about to explain the weekly chart, and I'm about to explain what is happening on it. So on the weekly chart, I'm zooming right in to look at the bottom of the chart, which is very important, right? So what is going on is, for the past over 6, in fact is over 10 weeks now. For the past 10 weeks, price is stuck in this range, which is either it is accumulation or it could be a continuation of the down market. So it's either they accumulate enough capital to push the sellers up. This time around, they will head to this top of 0.046 range. But to able to get to that point, they have to break above this range. That is the support area. So what is the cause of this support area? I just said the exchange of buyers and sellers, which means for price to move higher, buyers need to overcome the seller. So what then is going to happen? I'm going to explain to it, because here's the thing. The sellers had 2 touches on the seller's line in the past, and these 2 touches, of course, is valid. It's very valid, because I could have called this a third touch, because it's a little bit escape from, just a little bit gap from the trend line, right? The seller's trend line. So it's valid that this trend line has been tampered with and be broken. But now a beautiful question that we will ask ourselves, is this a fake out? Because of course there is likelihood of a fake out, or it could be a real breakout. If it's a fake out, it is going to force the move to break below the support. It means that, like I said, we get deceived by the support, just like the previous support did. So are we going to get deceived and think that we're going to go up with this fake out and then go back down? We're going to understand this better by the time we go deeper into the analysis. Like I said, it's going to be multiple time frame. So the weekly chart is saying yes, the weekly sell line is tampered with, a sign that there is a defense going on. The initiative buying, why I call it initiative buying, is it broke a support. Look at it. This 2 point is a support. The fact they even had a bounce, no matter how small it is even a no matter how small the bounce was, is a sign that there was a sign of defense from the buyers. And then they didn't allow it to go further down, just from 0.019 to 0.017 to they forced another push-up. Now if I zoom in, you find out that this push-up did not just tamper with the seller's line, it tampered with the seller's market structure. So when I talk about market structure, I'm talking about higher highs, higher lows. So for the bulls, they need higher highs and higher lows to change the market structure, to show a sign that their time is up to start moving up and price could change direction. And whenever you're seeing lower highs, lower lows, it means the sell-off is continuing and the down move is likely going to continue. So a good example is, you see, once they start the sell-off from this point, you can see we keep getting lower highs. Like price never went above the last low. Even here, you can see it keeps going down. But what about here? If I zoom in, now I don't care if it is just a little move that they used to overcome the last low, it's important to me. So if I take a trend line, everything is important. When I'm analyzing, I pay attention to every detail because it's important. So you can see a wick, they did not close outside of it, but they pierced it. Another tampering. So it's like somebody is testing you. What are you going to do? Like, I just walk up to you and I landed you a slap. Are you going to react? I want to see your reaction. Maybe probably I want to rob you, or maybe probably I want to take you out. But I want to first of all see your reaction so that I can have a better idea of how to take you out, right? So I test you. If your reaction is low, which is this candle, reaction is this sell. I don't know if you understand why we're having the current sell-off. It's a reaction because the line of the sellers has been tampered with. Both in market structure, we have a new high, even if it's by a week, we have a new high, higher than the last high, right? Because this is the last high, but we don't have a new low yet. So there's no new low for me to say it's a higher low. Now, it is this test that will determine if yes, the bulls are waking up. They are actually doing something if they can print and stop around here. So if they can stop around here and we have a green candle to push back up, they are tampering that this time around they will try to get above it. So what I mean is this. What I mean is that if they can keep a higher low, it means it's a bull market structure. How? In the previous, we keep since the touch of that seller's line. So I want to take off all this drawing to keep the chart very clean. Like I said, I don't need to redraw the chart. This is the last time we hit the seller's line very strong, even if it's here. But since then, we keep having lows, new low, new low. There's no higher low like here. Let me show you a good example of what higher low looks like. Like you see here, this is a low. This low is higher, a bit up. The price is a bit up than this, right? Now you see this is a bit up than this. That is bull market structure. That is a bullish market structure. So when it comes to higher high, you can see this high. This high is higher than this high, right? Bull market structure, and this high is also higher than this high is also higher than the previous high. These are bull market structure. So I want to see a change, just like I told you. What they are doing here is like what they did here, a test. If I slap you, are you going to watch me? Are you just going to stand and watch me? What would be your reaction? Because if I pick the line and I put here, you can see that they pierced through it the first time. You can see they pierced through it the first time. And after piercing through the line, right there, right here, they push them down like they are doing right now with a red candle. They don't have to be the same height, but there's a reaction on the weekly. The next week, they push them down to see how far they go, and we see them going as far as here. But here is the thing. That is like saying, put a respect on my name. I'm right here. That's what the bulls are saying, right? The bulls are right here, and they're saying, put a respect on our name. We're not letting you go below where you drove us the last time. So more capital entered the market, and they stop the sell-off right there. But after stopping the sell-off, you can see their reaction showed that, hey, you need to get out of my way or I will clear you. And they cleared all the sell-off here. So that is what I think we are experiencing now. So now, what do I see playing out? Like I said, this analysis is not a financial advice. I will break down this chart bit by bit and allow you make the decision yourself. Do you think we are going to see a buy? Because I'm going to leave you with this analysis that you can come back and watch over and over, because this is going to play out the entire period of spring. It's going to play out through the entire period of spring. So April, May, June, all those, depending on when spring is starting through your time. This is going to play out for a while because it's higher time frame. I'm still on the weekly chart. By the time we enter daily and 4 hours, then you can start taking the time frame a little lower. Based on the time frame, it will determine the move. So you can always come back and watch this video before I update it again. So like I said, this week is a test of put a respect on my name. You just crossed my line. You crossed it below here and you crossed it above here. Hello, I'm right here. So these bears are trying to test the bulls. What are you going to do? Are you going to allow us push you down below where you claimed you have loyalty, you have a good people you can trust? Are you really where you can trust? Or we can drive you lower? That is what this week is all about, that test. So the next week, I see the next week a week of proof, a week of I am right here, put a respect on my name. And from that week up, the next week will be up, and the next week, and then we try to get our way all the way to 0.6, because like I said, previous broken support is becoming a resistance, and this is our previous broken support area on the weekly. So I'm going to stop it here by saying that it's going to move to this point. Now I'm not talking about stopping the analysis, I'm talking about stopping the weekly chart, because the weekly chart, like I said, on a longer time, weekly, you want to see linear at least get into 0.08 to 0.1. We're going to get to that point. I don't know why my support, my resistance area keeps disappearing. It's hiding. It's gone. So I need to draw that again. So that's it. So I am seeing a focus on the weeklies because this is a very important area. So on the weekly, my first focus for the sports trader is that you can still see 0.08 if the week bulls prove themselves this week. By next week, it's 4 days to the end of this week, the end of this push. If they prove themselves and the next week open with a green, which has more chances that it will, then we're going to have a move up. But if they fail, then it's going to break below here. I don't see that coming, but depending on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has a way of taking everything along with it. So that is the first thing, is first target they will get to 0. So I will see them move like this. The first week they will try here, maybe a little, and they move above it, a little sideways, just a little sideways, and they move above it. And then when they move above it to 0.46, they will return to probably 0.046. They will return to 0.03. So this is going to need a lot of patience, because this period it would have even entered May, and then before they will now make another attempt all the way to try to move up to like 0.6, and they will get a reaction. Still they could get pushed down, and I hope this time around their push down is not going to extend. So they could get pushed down here, or they will get pushed down here. We will talk more about it, but I think the major push down is going to happen around 0.08 range on weekly. So this point, and they will turn back. But before that, I want us to just know that this chances of 0.06 is very important, because that is the tip of the support, previous broken support. I'm going to call it a resistance area, could take them back here or something before they now move back up. But remember, they will still maintain the bull market structure, because it's still higher low or so. But I see them clearing this when they return. We'll clear this height. But can we confirm this by taking this analysis on daily? I want to see that the daily is singing the same song with the weekly and the monthly, because that's what is going to prove that yes, something is likely in play. So for the daily chart, I drew this chart literally on the weekly for the analysis, but I want us to just take a glance and see what it looks like on the daily. This is the chart on the daily. So I love the Bitcoin Gorilla box, because you don't have to always redraw the chart. Once you just draw it for a while and see if the box continue. If the box breaks below, it means another new box is going to form, or a support will be extended or something. But if you want to know more about the box, you can come to Makaveli Traders. Access will be open, like I said, next month, 3rd May. Access will be open. Currently access is closed. I don't take students. I've stopped taking students since February. I've not been taking students. In fact, it will be closed. If you visit the website, you won't be able to get access. So let's see what the daily is saying now. I'm just taking a glance look at the chart, and I'll tell you this. According to this chart, we are heading back to this point. If this point holds up, and chances are very high now that it's going to hold up. So what do I need to see on the daily on the daily chart? So what I'm seeing right here is, it looks like the tip of this point in the past, are you seeing a coincidence? They say there's something about history. I love something. I wasn't good at history in school, but history has made me understand that if you want to know the future, then you have to seek answers of the present in the past. You have to look at the past to find out why what is happening today is happening, to know what is going to happen tomorrow. So in the past, the reaction of this point is very crystal on the daily chart. I did not draw this chart on the daily chart. I drew it on the weekly chart, but obviously the weekly and the daily are supporting each other. This price got reacted just the same point it is supposed to react. But again, I see something beautiful again. right there. In the past, again, what does this tell me? Because if I zoom in, I will see that the coincidence extend all the way to, sorry, I need to take that back. So let's move that. So let me zoom in. So a fresh coincidence here, like I said, let's change the color to blue. So a fresh coincidence is here, here, and here. Beautiful coincidences. This tells me that if the bulls are really serious about upward move, then they shouldn't cross below this range again. So 0.02 to 0.18 is very important. They shouldn't go below 0.18. So 0.02 is going to be a strong buy zone. Now on the daily chart, I just want to pick a line to show a very close something. I want to place the line right here. This line, need to move it a little to get something right here. A coincidence, a very closer coincidence is what I'm going to show you now. And that closer coincidence is yet another reaction. I love history, right? You can see it here. When they return, it will react to them. So our question now is, if the sell-off is going to continue, then even if they move up, they will get rejected and they will dive down. They will get rejected right here, where they go rejected right here, and they go rejected right here. So what this is telling me is that the bulls have to make it above 0.028 minimum, 0.026 at worst. So they need to come, they go attack it and return, which is fair enough. Remember, this video I said you can watch it over time, because even looking at the trading view is already projecting this is already happening end of April. They could move like this, right? So they could move further, like there could be another push down, little push down to 0.02, which is the same point at that point. Then they will react to this up move to 0.026. So it's either they react where they are now. Why I say they react where they are is because they are actually at a very important point. You can see it in the past. I like this area because remember why I'm showing you all these areas, because it is still within a support. The entire of this range is a support. Chances that this bull will keep buying as long as price is within this range. That is why you see it keep returning, and even though people keep selling, it keeps going up and returning with the selling, because bulls see it as an opportunity price range that if they buy, it could move up. So their chance is to hold it, as even if they push them down now, they want to maintain the market structure. So this will be the last low. So we're going to have, this will be the last low, followed by another low. So higher low, this low is higher than this last low. Then they move up. So it's either they stop here where they are, but I do see that a little move down. Yeah, a little move down. Maybe this particular candle could just push a little and the same candle will reverse. So daily chart could still push a little down or push a little up and push a little down. Whatever way or whatever style, I cannot tell you how much is entering the market every minute. So it is the capital that enter the market that changes these candles every time, right? So on the daily chart, I do see them returning, right? So if the bulls are really going up and if this upward move is going to happen, then I want to see them make a move. When they get here, they are going to get reacted. Like I said, previous reaction expected. When you know what to expect, you don't just rush and sell your coin. You learn to be more patient. Crypto is about patience. People don't understand. My videos, this is why I run multiple time frame, because I've understand that patience is everything. Patience, it is 80% buying, 10%, 80% waiting, 10% buying, 10% selling. That 80% is all about patience. It is not by entering and leaving the market or always trying to catch up the market. If you trade every day, chances are you're going to give the money back to the market. You just know when to trade and when not to trade. The right time is about timing. Timing is so important that you have to understand that it's about entering the market the right time and sitting through the trade, right? Being able to sit through the trade. That is situations like pullbacks, which is going to happen when they get here. It's going to pull back, but that does not mean it's the end of the trade. The move will happily just probably go sideways a little and then again attack, and this time around head again back to the top where they will get likely a little reaction pullback, and then they will attack again and they will leave the box to head for my 0.046 range. Right, so a move, their reaction could stop at 0.35 or 0.38. Either they get here and react, because they will actually maybe form a little break, pull a push up, and then a retest, and then the move, right? So that could happen. That could very much happen. So that's what I anticipate on the weekly chart. So anywhere from now until end of April, we could see that really playing out. So it's not going to be an easy ride, so patience is going to be needed. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and even take this forecast a little further to give you so when they now finally makes it into my inner box. So like I said, I have two boxes. So when they make it into my inner box on the daily, again, let me get back and bring it back. I'm talking about the resistance area of the inner box. So let me bring it back. So somewhere here. So the goal of the bulls, if they end up, like I said, succeeding in keeping this point, then their goal is to force their way into 0.4 to 0.5. If they force their way into it, they will get pushed back again from 0.5556 or so. They will get pushed back, or 0.6 maximum. They will get pushed back again, and this time around it could extend back to that 0.34 or 0.38 range. They could get them pushed out. So if they succeed in breaking and moving up, they will get again another pullback. Remember, market is constantly, there's always constant interaction between buyers and sellers, and price has to move to find more buyers. So if price come back and find more buyers, remember, previous broken support is betraying them now, because it doesn't trust them anymore. That they don't trust each other. It's more like a two-way party. The previous support is now acting as a resistance. It doesn't trust the bulls, and the bulls don't trust the fact that this support will hold them. So chances are high they will pierce and go lower to convert this one into a stronger support. Instead of falling inside of it like they did when they were leaving, they would like to sit on top of it. So they would like to sit at the tip and probably create a sideways that will give them more strength to come back again, and this time around enter into the resistance and turn it to their own support. So when they enter into the resistance, this time around they will make their way into 0.66 range, 0.8. It is not a sweet market. Trading is not as smooth as people preach it. These moves of this market is not as smooth as it is in the book. So even if you read it, the real life experience when you are inside the real trade, you really find yourself struggling to sit in a market that keeps going back and forth. But the truth is, this back and forth is what makes the majority of the time in the market, because that is what the 80% is called consolidation, right? So once they're able to make it again, they will return again before trying my move here. So I do see this happening, but once they get here, they will react down, and this reaction could go deeper. And I mean, it could go deeper, it could get all the way here. Yeah, it could get all the way back here. Yes, you're going to be tired. That's if you want to take profit, you can take here, but it's still keeping the bullish market structure. So if you bought here where the price is currently is, you're still in profit, right? But this is around in fact, I don't want to give you a time frame on this. By then I would have come to update this chart. By the time they get to this point, I would have come to update this chart. But this is going to play all the way to July, right? Before August, before we enter August, September, would have at least gotten to 0.08. But if only I see more of this coming, it won't be easy to make it to this point, but it's possible. This is crypto, depending on the amount of capital that has been entering this market. But I like staying open-minded and not just be too confident. So the control line is going to lead to that move down. Very important. So that's what the daily chart is saying. So let's further look at the 4 hours and try to make a little observation just to confirm everything we've been saying. What is the 4 hours saying? Is there any sign from the bulls? So let's zoom in. I drew this chart on the weekly, and this is what it looks like. So obviously you can see that in the past, let me zoom in because now we're dealing with 4 hours. Chart is going to get a little bit more zoomed in for us to see the candles. So this candle is enough for me to interpret what I want to interpret. So like as usual, like I said, accumulation stage 1 of the market, where price is forced to interact between buyers and sellers, and you can see clearly we had clear bullish market structure. So like I said, there's a breakout here, and when the breakout happened, which you see previous 3-point rejection in the past, and they break out and they came to retest, they kept the bull market structure. Look at it, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, until of recent where they broke it. This is where they broke it. So if you have exited the market when they broke below the last low, you would have exited somewhere around here. That's the good thing about price action and understanding market structure. So from this, what I'm seeing is clear that we are on for a retest. What is that retest? The previous broken resistance. These bulls want to come back and say, hey, okay, the last time I was in your house, you were Mr. Nice Guy, you were all nice to me, and somehow I fell for you. I fell and I want to be more close to you. But what makes me think you weren't just pretending? I want to be sure that I can trust you, so that if I go on my journey and I have a message that I want to deliver back home and I'm falling, I could rely on you, that I could always come back and I have someone to accommodate me, right? So this is like a test from the bulls to prove themselves, and the support as well to prove itself. So this is a broken resistance which is automatically turning into support. So before they left, they actually did turn it into a support. Look at them, when they broke above it, they came and turned it into a support. You can see they have to successfully stand above it to be able to continue the journey. So them being able to successfully stand above it converted this previous resistance into a support. But now they are returning for a bigger retest. If this move to the upside is going to continue, then please, this support, you need to hold us. So at worst case scenario, like I said, they are just very inches away. So just during the day, it could be a little more push down that will take that move. So I'm doing this recording currently on the 6th, right? And it's just about a new day candle to start. Here a new day has already opened, but on the daily chart I have a new candle has opened. So this new daily chart, this new daily candle need to hold this range. So I want that maybe they could probably come and do something like this and reverse back up. They do not need to get in below this point, because anything that goes below this point is a threat to the entire bulls, because they have been already betrayed here. What makes you think they won't betray them here? So they will run. Instead of buying more, they will become more scared. So that's what I see. So this is what I see on this coin called Lina in the whole period of spring. This is what I see coming. So if these bulls are really going to maintain what the weekly is telling us, everything we've been seeing so far, so good, then let them hold the breakdown they have, the breakout they have already confirmed by breaking the seller's line and slapping them. They should make sure that they are not slapping what they can't hold, because if you go and slap a soldier and you were not ready, of course the retaliation will be a bastard one. You don't want to stand that. So of course these bulls better make sure they are prepared by giving us something to work with by next week. So this week and next week, this week closing of course is going to be bull BS already. We already say it's just 4 days to left, so they could still pull up, no problem, but we want next week at least to show us a green candle, even if it's just a hammer on the support, even if it's just a something that prevents this seller from continuing. A sign. We need a sign. So this is what I'm seeing on linear. I remain Bitcoin Gorilla. Don't forget to subscribe if you actually enjoy this analysis. I enjoy the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy. Thank you for watching and happy trading.